Hello everyone, my name is Mars Magica. A few days ago, I made a community post and Insta story asking you guys to send me your OCs by email. And there were so many submissions to my surprise. I can't draw all of your OCs and it was really hard to choose, but I picked out 3 that interested me the most. The first one is by Dims, who submitted their character named Rosie Lee. I was immediately drawn to her because of her cute flowy hair. I was excited to draw it really fluffy and bouncy. Rosie is a magical girl who lives in a magical town and has a love for music. She seemed like a very cheerful character and I wanted to capture her love for playing the guitar, so I drew her in a guitar holding pose similar to the photo here. It was really important to me to draw a dynamic pose to show that she's carefree and cheerful, and something that was difficult was drawing the foreshortening on her arms. Here, I drew the guitar on a face front view and used a transform tool to help me with a better perspective for the guitar. I'm not the best at drawing props and items, especially instruments, since they're so detailed, but I tried my best to make the guitar look good by using references. Drawing line art for this complicated curly hair was really hard, but I was determined to do it well. Also, I thought the accessories on her arms looked really cool and unique. I usually place flat colors on the whole drawing before I begin shading, but I was so excited to make the hair look bouncy, so I began shading it immediately. When coloring, I wanted the hair to look as radiant as possible, so I was really careful in my placement of highlights and shadows, and I'm happy with the outcome of how it looks now. Also, I've been practicing textures and wanted to go all out with the jean details, so you can see there's a lot of wrinkles, sewing lines, and more realistic shading. I find that this really finalizes my drawings. For the guitar, I had a bit of trouble coloring it since it's supposed to be really shiny and reflective, but I just didn't know where to put the lighting. But towards the end, I kind of found my way through it. And for the finishing touches, I changed the color of the line art since it gives a really nice and soft finish. And we're done! I'm really happy with how radiant and positive Rosie looks. Thank you, Dims, for your submission. The second submission is Lulu Foreno's OC, Shun. Shun is a freshman in the human world, and she is bold, dumb, and clumsy and loves gummy candies. I really liked her cute design and thought she came off as very energetic. And since she liked candies, I imagined her excited about eating a big bear candy. Her facial expression in the original seemed mischievous, and I thought she could also fit a sparkly-eyed expression for when she finds some candy. I also decided to draw her a stylized, drooling mouth, and I thought it would look a lot cuter. In this sketch, I realized I didn't give her hair enough volume, so I fixed this in the line art. I usually don't always follow my sketch line for line just to make it more free and flowy. I really liked her oversized sweater since the sleeves are so long it made her look cute and small. The cuff of the sleeves have a bit of a bounce to them because I wanted to give them a cute fluffy texture that made them look a lot more cozy. Sometimes when I color in, I use a very dark blue to color in with the fill tool first so that I can make sure there's no white spots left behind. One of my favorite things to do is color in blush when coloring the skin, but I try my best not to do this too much, otherwise every character will be bashful and blushing. And as a personal touch, I wanted to give her a cute pink nail since it felt fitting for her little gremlin OC. I wanted to make her sweater look loose and large, so I drew very large shadows that drape downwards but is thick enough to make the garment look a bit heavier. I usually add a light gradient inside the shadows to make it look more three-dimensional. I always begin by adding a gradient down on the hair before adding the harsher shadows. This makes it look softer despite the fact that it's cel shading and it seems harsh. Touches, I shade the prop and add its little glistening glows, kind of like chocolatey but also gummy-ish. And I add a few more details in the eyes by adding eyelashes and a little bit of highlight in the eyes. While looking up lollipops, and there's also gummy variants which I was really surprised about, but I realized they are usually decorated with ribbons, which I found really cute. So I added a ribbon to add to the cuteness factor. To give this drawing a hazy and cute atmosphere, I duplicate the line art and blur it slightly to make it a lot softer and a lot dreamier. I really like this final touch. I feel like it really finishes everything off. I was really happy with how this came out. Thank you, Lulu, for your entry. The final one is Aurum, a 17-year-old soldier who is vengeful since a young age of 14. At 18, he completes his lifelong task of killing his enemy, but it came at the cost of his own life. As you can see, I made around 3 sketches in total because I wanted to make sure that the details and the anatomy were done right. I absolutely love the vintage sort of style of this character, which really fit with his 17th century European clothing. He also came off as rough and raggedy and strong because of his raggedy hair and serious facial expression. I wanted to carefully construct his body in my sketch so that he would appear more muscly and macho. I was worried because my style is very different to the original, and I want to interpret the drawing well, but in the end I was really happy with the results. I was given free rein on the color palette, so I went for a more dark toned color palette to fit with the gloominess of the piece, and also because since it's a vintage kind of character, a guy from the 17th century, I wanted to go for more natural colors since they would have more leather and cotton and creamy fabrics, so yeah. At some point, I realized I was making the illustration too bright, so I tried my best to darken the drawing to fit with the character. One thing that really helped the illustration was the harsh, intense shadow cast on his clothes and face, which intensified his emotions and gave the drawing a dark, gloomy atmosphere. And he's done! I really enjoyed coloring his eyes this golden color since it gave a piercing glow when accompanied with the dark shadows. Thank you, Chrysos, for your submission. And that concludes today's illustrations. Thank you, Flowerbuds, for watching this video. Please leave a like if you'd like more of these kinds of videos, and I might make it into a series. This was really fun to do, and it was nice to see everyone's submissions. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe today to become a new flowerbud in my garden. And since you've stuck to the end, let me know which drawing was your favorite. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!